A very good morning to one and all. So children, today we are going to discuss about kinematic equations of motion for uniformly accelerated motion. Right? So children, for this we are having two methods to derive the equations of motion. One is the graphical method and second one is the calculus method. Graphical method we are already having in class 9th also. With the help of the graph, we just formulated the expression for the three equations of motion. Right? So first equation of motion v equals to u plus at, second equation of motion s equals to ut plus half at square, and third equation of motion v square equals to u square plus 2as. So these three equations of motion gives us a relationship between different terms, those are related to the motion, right? So in class 11th, now we will not talk about the graphical representation of equations of motion, because this method already we are having in class 9. But here we are just going to express these three equations of motion. We are just deriving these three equations of motion by calculus method. That means with the help of the rules of the differentiation and integration, we are just going to formulate these three equations of motion. Done, children? So alright, so children, very first we are just going to start with the very first equation of motion that gives us the relationship between velocity, acceleration in the time, that is v equals to u plus at, and we can also say that velocity attained by a particle after t time. Velocity attained by a particle after t time. After t time, or we can say first equation of motion. First equation of motion, right? So we will not we will not plot any graph to derive this equation of motion, but with the help of the certain formulas of velocity, acceleration, which are based on the derivatives, which are based on the differentiation and integration, we will just solve this equation of motion. So first equation of motion, v equals to u plus at. So children, whenever we are just going to start with the very first equation of motion, this equation of motion is started with the formula of the instantaneous acceleration, that is a. So instantaneous acceleration tells us about dv upon dt, that is rate of change of velocity, gives us the value of the acceleration, right? So this is very first equation of motion. Now what will we do? We will just cross multiply this equation of motion, so we can write down dv equals to adt. Right, children? So now what will we do? These are the very small values of the velocity and the time. Now what will we do? We will just integrate both sides. Integrate both sides with respect to the limits. Right? So always remember one point, whatever derivative we are having on the left side or the right side, only we can take the limits of those derivatives only, right? That means अगर आपके पास derivative v का है left side में, then we have to take the limit of v. Now at the right side we are having the derivative of v, that's why derivative of t, that's why we will take the limits of the t. So always remember one point, जिस भी term का derivative आपके पास है, केवल उसी term का आपको derivative उसकी उसी term की आपको limits लेनी है, जिससे आपके पास यहाँ पे acceleration है, but we are not having the derivative of the acceleration, that's why we will not take the limits of the acceleration, right? So to take the limits, what will we do? We will just assume the two conditions. When time equals to 0, when time equals to 0, then object start moving and its initial velocity is u, right? After t time, it attains it covers its journey, it covers some distance, and after t time its velocity changes from u to v, right? So these two values will gives us the lower limit of time and velocity, and these two values will gives us the upper limit of time and velocity, right? Now we'll just put down the values in the equation. dv, lower limit of time, lower limit of velocity. Now here we are having the derivative of v, that's why we will place the limit of the v. So lower limit of the v is velocity is u, and upper limit of the velocity is v, equals to a dt, right? So a dt means we are having the limit of the time. So lower limit of the time is 0 and upper limit of the time is t. Now we'll just simply apply the rules of the integration. So at the left side we are having the derivative of the v only. That's why whenever we are just going to integrate it this value, so we'll only have v. So integration of dv will be v with the help of the very first rule of the integration, very first theorem of the integration, then u to v equals to, now in the left right side we are having the derivative of the times. That's why this a will treated as the constant for this derivative only, right? So a will be out from the differentiating, and integration of dt will be d within the limit 0 to t, right children? Now what will we have? The secondly we will have we will just place the limits. Done. Now we will just place the limits to the both sides. So whenever we will place the limit to the left side, so upper limit will be v, at place of v we will place v, minus lower limit at place of v we will place u, right? Equals to, a will be common, we will place the upper limit of the time and then lower limit of the time, right? Now v minus u equals to a into t, and v equals to u plus at, and this is our first equation of motion, right? So with the help of these rules of the differentiation and the integration, we can solve other two equations also. This is first equation of motion, right? Now we will just solve the second equation of motion, that is displacement of the particle after time t. Displacement of particle after time t, right? So displacement of the particle after time t, for this what we are having, we'll start our theorem with the formula of the velocity, or this is the second equation of motion. Second equation of motion, right? So we will start just v equals to dx upon dt. So rate of change of displacement, rate of change of position will gives us the value of the velocity, right? In the next term what we are going to do, we will just cross multiply this term. This is equation number a. So we can write down dx equals to v dt, right? Now from the equation number 1 we are having the value of the v, that is v equals to u plus at from the very first equation of motion. So we'll place the value of the v plus ut. So dx will be equals to the u plus at into dt. Now these are the very small values of the displacement at the time. So we'll just integrate these values with respect to the limits. Now left side we are having the derivative of the x, that's why we will take the limit of the x, and right side we are having the derivative of the time, that's why we will take the limit of the time. So integrating both side with respect to limit. Integrating both sides with respect to limit. So whenever we are just going to integrate both sides with respect to limit, now we will have, so very first for that we'll just assume the condition like when displacement is 0, when displacement is 0, then time at time t equals to 0, displacement is 0. When displacement changes from 0 to s, so time will be t, right? So we'll place the limits at the left side, 0 to s dx equals to u plus at, and the limit of the time is 0 to t and dt. Now this is the addition of the two terms. So what will we do? We will just separate this integration sign and this derivative with the each of the term. Then dx 0 to s will be equals to 0 to t u dt plus 0 to t a t dt, right? Now integration of dx will be x within the limit 0 to s equals to integration of u dt. U will be constant for this derivative, so u will be out from the difference, and integration of t will be dt will be t, plus a will be constant and we are having t to the power 1, so in power we will add 1 and divide it by the total power within the limits, right? Now next we will just place the limit s minus 0 upper limit minus lower limit equals to u t minus 0 upper limit minus lower limit plus a. T square by 2, whenever we will place the upper limit, this will be t square by 2 minus 0 square by 2. Now we will just arrange the equation like ut plus half at square. This is our second equation of motion, right? Now, this is our second equation of motion. Now we'll just move to the third equation of motion. So third equation of motion, displacement of the velocity attained by the particle after traveling distance. Or the third equation of motion, directly we can write down third equation of motion. So just see very carefully, third equation of motion little bit different from the above three equation, that is v square equals to u square plus 2as, right? So this equation of motion is started by the formula of v equals to, since v equals to dx upon dt, that from the formula of the instantaneous velocity, as we know that v equals to dx upon dt. This is our equation number 1. Now you have to manipulate this equation, like at the left side, what will you do? Multiply and divide by dv to the right hand side only. Whenever you will just multiply and divide the same term, so that will be no effect on the equation. Now v will be equals to dx upon dt, dv upon dt, dv upon dv. Now you will just arrange the denominators of these two equations, like you can write down dx upon dv and this will be dv upon dt. Now this dv upon dt will give you the value of the acceleration, since you know that a equals to dv upon dt. So you can write down v equals to dx upon dv into dv. Dx upon dv into v, sorry. Right? Now dv upon dt will be a, so we will write down here a. Now you will just cross multiply this dv to the right side. v dv equals to a dx. Now these are very small values of the displacement and the time velocity. Now we will just integrate these values with respect to the limit, integrating both sides with respect to limit. Now we will just take the limit conditions of the limit. So whenever we will just take the condition of the limit, so this will be when velocity is u, then distance traveled by the object is 0. When velocity is v, then distance traveled by the object is s, right? Now we'll just take the limits. Now to the right side, we'll just do the equation, integration v dv, and limits are u to v equals to integration a dx and limits are 0 to s. Now we are having 1 power of e, so we will apply the rule 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1, limit u to v equals to, a will be constant for the term and integration of dx will be x within the limit 0 to s. Now we'll just place the limits like, v square by 2 upper limit minus lower limit v square by 2 equals to a s minus 0. Now we can write down v square minus u square by 2 equals to as, and we can write down v square minus u square equals to 2as, or you can write down v square equals to u square plus 2as. So these are the three equations of motion which we formulated by the calculus method, right children? Now we'll talk about one more equation of motion, that is the displacement of the particle. Whenever we are just calculating the displacement of the particle in nth second, right? So whenever we are just calculating the displacement of the particle in nth second, so how will we calculate? So what will we do? We will just subtract the disposition of the particle in n minus 1 n second to the n minus 1 second, right? So we'll just do this equation of motion. Now we'll just do the formulation for the displacement of the particle in nth second, right? So for whenever we are just calculating the displacement of the particle in nth second, so how will we calculate it? Whenever we will just subtract the displacement of the particle from n second to n minus 1 second, right? N second to n minus 1 second. That means very first we are having n minus 1 second, then we will have 1 second, right? Just like very first we are having 4, then we'll have 5. Then how can we write down it? 5 minus 1. Likewise, this is n and this is n minus 1. So this is initial value and this is final value. So whenever we will just calculate the change, so final value minus initial value, right? Likewise, so whenever we are just calculating the displacement for the nth second, so displacement of the particle in n second minus displacement of the particle in n minus 1 second, right? So what will we do? Since as we know that by the second equation of motion, this will be ut plus half at square. So for Sn, at place of time, what will we do? So for Sn, t equals to n, right? So from 1, what will you do? आप क्या करेंगे? सेकेंड इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन में जहां पे टाइम का वैल्यू t है, उस टाइम के वैल्यू को रिप्लेस करेंगे किस वैल्यू से? n वैल्यू से, क्योंकि हमारे पास यहाँ पे जो टाइम है वो n सेकेंड का है, राइट? So this will be Sn will be equals to the un plus half an square, right? So this is our equation number A. Now for the second, what will we do? This will be s minus, for Sn minus 1 second, we'll just replace the time with n minus 1, right? In equation number 1. So from equation 1, so this will be Sn minus 1 un minus 1 plus half an minus 1 whole square, right? So this is equation number B, right? So now what will we do? Equation number A will be subtracted by the equation number B. So when will we do the subtraction? So we'll have this will become value like Sn minus 1, Sn minus 1 will become the Snth, right? So what is the value of the Sn? So from equation number, we can write down this equation number x. So from equation x, so we'll place all the values in the equation number x. So we'll have Snth will be equals to the, what is the value of the Sn? Un plus half an square minus un minus 1 plus half an minus 1 whole square, right? So children, whenever you will just solve these equations like so, the final answer, what will we get? This will be u minus half a plus an. Then after solving this value, so you can just, this is the algebraic calculation, so you can just do it yourself, right? So Snth, finally we will get u plus a by 2, 2n minus 1. So this is the equation for the Snth second, right children? Now these are the 4 equations of motion. So 3 equations of motion are generally we are having in class 9th also, but this is the additional or the 4th equation of motion that will gives us the value of the displacement of the particle in any second during the journey, right? So this is all about the 3 or the kinematic equations of the motion, right children? Now we'll talk about the freely falling bodies. So whenever we are just talking about the freely falling bodies, So children, when we talk about the freely falling bodies, that means the motion of the body falling under the effect of the gravity alone with a constant acceleration is known as the free fall. That means whenever we are just dropping any of the object under the effect of the gravity from a certain height, so that type of the motion is defined as the free fall, right? So whenever we are just dropping any ball from certain height under the action of the gravity only, but not out of the action of the gravity. तो एक्शन ऑफ द ग्रेविटी के अंदर जब हम किसी भी बॉल को ड्रॉप करते हैं तो वो जो मोशन होता है वो क्या होता है, फ्री फॉल होता है. दैट मीन्स इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द ग्रेविटी, क्योंकि डायरेक्शन क्या होती है ग्रेविटी की, हमेशा टूवर्ड्स द सेंटर ऑफ द अर्थ. तो कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट जो टूवर्ड्स द सेंटर ऑफ द अर्थ मूव करेगा दैट इज इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द ग्रेविटी, राइट. Now, if any of the object we are throwing in the upward direction, that is the against gravity, right? So for that, we will just manipulate these three equations or these four equations of motion in terms of the free fall, right? So what will we do? So for these three equations of motion, under the in the direction of gravity, in the direction of gravity, what will you do? We are having v equals to u plus at, right? Then s equals to ut plus half at square, then s equals to v square equals to u square plus 2as, right children? So we are having general equations, and very first equation v equals to u plus at, right? So what changes we are just going to do here? Very first, acceleration a, simple acceleration will be converted into the g, and this horizontal distance will be converted into the height, right? So when the motion is in the direction of gravity, so g will be taken as the positive, right? So first equation of motion will change from v equals to u plus gt, right? Second equation of motion will change into the h equals to ut plus half gt square, and third equation of motion v square equals to u square plus 2gh. These are the equations of motion in the direction of the gravity. Now whenever we are just throwing any of the object in the upward direction, then what will happen? Then that g, positive g, will convert into the minus g. Right? तो जब भी आप क्या करेंगे, किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट को अपर डायरेक्शन में अगेंस्ट ग्रेविटी थ्रो करेंगे, तो वो जो आपके पास ऑब्जेक्ट होगा उसमें जो एक्सेलरेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी होगा उसकी डायरेक्शन चेंज हो जाएगी, दैट मीन्स अपोजिट होगी. तो जब हम डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन को पॉजिटिव ले रहे हैं तो उसकी जस्ट अपोजिट डायरेक्शन को वी विल जस्ट टेक द नेगेटिव डायरेक्शन. तो क्या क्या चेंजेस आएंगे? अगेंस्ट ग्रेविटी, वी कैन राइट डाउन हियर अगेंस्ट ग्रेविटी. तो अगेंस्ट ग्रेविटी जो इक्वेशंस हो जाती है उनमें क्या क्या चेंजेस आते हैं? आपके पास a विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू द माइनस g, s विल बी इक्वल्स टू द h only, right? So for first equation of motion v equals to u plus at, so how will we convert this equation? V equals to u and now plus minus g into t, right? Now the second equation of motion, s equals to ut plus half at square, though, so h equals to ut plus half minus g t square. And third equation of motion, v square equals to u square plus 2as. So this will be v square equals to u square plus minus 2gh. Now similarly we can convert the fourth equation of motion also. So likewise we can just write down, and this equation will be s nth will be equals to the u plus a by 2 2n minus 1, u plus a by 2 2n minus 1. So this will convert into the h nth will be equals to the u minus, we can write down u minus g by 2 2n minus 1, and for this will be taken as the positive, right? So these equations of motion, children, is important for the numerical purpose only. We are not having the derivation for these equations of motion. If we will just draw the equations derivation for these equations of motion, so we can just use the graphical or the calculus method to derive these equations of motion. But in this chapter we are only having the numerical portion related to these equations of motion, right children? So this is all about the freely falling bodies, right? So This will be the second last chapter, and the last topic we are having the relative velocity. Relative velocity we are having in the class next chapter also. So very small portion we will discuss the portion of the relative velocity, right? So children, about relative velocity we will discuss in the next class. So till then, just that's all for today. Thank you.